All right, I'm doing it. I've been debating it for a while. But honestly, that debate in my head has just caused me to delay myself actually watching the video. So I'm just going to do it. I may or may not upload this. I'm not sure. For those of you that don't know, made a video about, I think almost 2 months ago, where I reacted to Tyler the Creator's old music as a new Tyler fan. That video got very, very popular, and a lot of people really wanted me to watch this Tennis Tom video. I'm a pretty big fan of Tennis Tom. I've liked all the stuff I've watched from him, but I've only seen a few things because I didn't want to watch anything about albums that I hadn't heard. So I've watched the Damn video, I've watched the Igor video, and I've watched the Mr. Morale video. All great videos. I highly recommend them. This is Tennis Tom's deep dive into Tyler the Creator's Wolf trilogy. And before I watch it, I just wanted to really quickly. I just wanted to talk about my actual theory on what it was, just briefly, that I talked about throughout the video that I reacted to them. A lot of people were like, "You're wrong. It's this and not that," and whatever in the comments. Which, like, I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong about something, but honestly, I'm not really sure that there is an objective correct answer to this kind of thing. I suppose that may change after watching this video, but yeah, I feel like a lot of it is so open to interpretation that there isn't really a correct answer. Like, for example, Tennis Tom's Igor video was great, and the theory was very, very plausible on what the story was. But I saw another theory a little later that talked about the possibility that the narrator in Igor is just an unreliable narrator, and the love interest is not actually even gay or likes him. And then I looked at both of those theories together, and I was like, yeah, I mean, either one of them could be right. It's open to interpretation. What I'm trying to say is, just because my theory in the video didn't exactly line up with this doesn't necessarily mean I was wrong. It just means that maybe it was a poorly constructed theory based on not a whole lot of experience, because I only listened to the trilogy once. It was just my interpretation of it at the time. And I'll very quickly, just briefly talk about what that interpretation was. It was basically just, I think the trilogy is just Tyler going insane, or rather, Wolf Haley, the main character, going insane. In my head, the timeline went Wolf, Bastard, Goblin. I know that's not what Tennis Tom says in this video, but that's how the timeline went in my head, because Wolf seemed like the start of it all, where Wolf Haley was just starting to develop some really weird mental issues, and he met some people that made his life worse. He started to develop some weird, like, kind of mental disorders, where in his head he would create like other personas and people, and some of them would manifest as himself, as like other personas that come out and make him do things like unwillingly, like Tron Cat, for example. And some of them also manifested as other people, like Dr. TC, who he thought was real but wasn't. It was in his head and it was him. And the reason I think it's Wolf, Bastard, Goblin is because I think Wolf is when he just first started to go insane. Bastard is when he started doing some really, really insane things because of his going insane. And Goblin was all of it coming to head. He killed all of his imaginary friends that were just in his head, and he thought he was in a therapy session, but the therapist wasn't actually real. And then at the very end, that's when he realized that all of it was fake and in his head, and he got like arrested or something. I don't know. That's a very brief version of what my theory was. But yeah, I'm open to other ideas, and I do really want to watch this video because I really do like Tennis Tom's content, and I'm sure that after watching this I will think that whatever he says is probably the most accurate. But I just wanted to preface it with that by saying that, just because it doesn't line up doesn't necessarily mean that one is correct and one is wrong, because it's very open ended. But yeah, let's watch the video. You think?
A trilogy in which Tyler discusses many things with a mysterious therapist named Dr. TC. So feel free to grab a snack, grab a drink, or even subscribe to the channel. This video is definitely my most ambitious yet very nice.
Hey, subscribe to Tennis Tom. If you've never seen Tennis Tom before, go. I don't even know am I pronouncing his name right? I hope I am. If you've never seen him before, go watch his videos. If you've heard Damn, if you've heard Mr. Morale, if you've heard Igor, go watch those videos. They're great. And I'm sure his videos on the other albums he's done are also great, but I didn't want to watch them yet because I haven't heard those albums. They're great videos, very, very detailed and very fun to watch because of the, illustrations and stuff that he does.
It's Tyler the Creator. Like, come on. But I still feel like I could prove jumping right into it is the concept of Tyler's alter egos, which you might have heard before. For example, Igor would be one of his alter egos. Albums centers around one of Tyler's alter egos. And the first one, Bastard, is centered around the alter ego known as Ace. I don't want to give too much away before I start. The really first thing we notice with this album is its pretty hellish cover showing a school class picture of kids with eyes grayed out and pretty spooky features, all covered with this transparent red filter. It's important to note that there are two official covers for Bastard, one with a red filter and one with a blue filter. Tyler mentioned the reason for that, explaining that red means evil and blue means happy. This all actually makes sense a bit later in this video. Keep that in mind. But there's still the kids on the cover, right? This is referencing to the title of the album itself, Bastard, which is about Tyler's father being not there. The meaning of bastard, and it's also pretty much common knowledge that growing up, Tyler didn't have a father.
Focus. Your dad's here.
This could be the reason why.
What was that clip? I know that was what's his name? Eric Andre? Was that actually Tyler's dad?
He mentions there are 3 sessions scheduled, today, tomorrow, and the next day. And now you're like, oh shit, that's the 3 albums, right? To which I say, no. This is the thing that will chords and melody playing is called a tritone. In music theory, a tritone is defined as a musical interval composed of 3 adjacent. In the early 18th century, a tritone was actually considered as devilish music. Just a nice little detail here. Among other subjects.
That's not true. Sorry for the actually, but yeah, Adam Neely made a video about that. And it's not actually true. He said 18th century here, which is like a little bit more accurate because the whole devil imagery around the tritone kind of originated around the 18th, 19th, maybe 20th century. But it wasn't like seen as an actual devil's chord or anything. Anyway, sorry for the actually.
The storyline, a girl named Sarah.
The summer is never, that's equivalent to me and Sarah.
Apparently this is a real when he was in high school. She'll definitely come back later. Anyway, being a good therapist, Dr. TC asked,
if you had the chance to tell him something, what would you tell him?
I tell him to eat a dick.
Well, now we know what he told him.
I'm so glad he did that because that was my exact reaction to the transition into the second song.
To tell him something, what would you tell him?
I tell him to eat a dick quicker than Mexican sprint over borders. I give a fuck.
Giving a girl a nice dinner, and then maybe buying her a gift, and then just raping her and killing her. You've been warned. Yeah. Some of these songs are really not pretty. He even mentions some of these songs are really not pretty. He even mentions the first song where we see a very dark part of Tyler's mind. Or
is it really?
Alter egos.
We skipped French. French was a little crazy.
Their songs. Now, who is this alter ego?
Tron Cat.
I don't want to play you.
Track 10 on Bastard is VCR.
Okay, so we are skipping around a little bit.
It's the catchy chorus where Tyler says, "Press my buttons, baby," or threatening to kill that girl if he finds out she watches other movies. In the end of the video for VCR, Tyler basically jumps a girl in his basement and probably kills her. But then it gets even weirder in the song.
Yeah, I didn't watch that video. I only watched I think I watched the French video the Yonkers video and the IFHY video. I don't think I watched any of the other ones. I don't know if they're going to be important. I don't think they're that important.
The girl never agrees or reacts to anything because she's dead.
I like my girls skinny with brains.
This song is obviously
Okay.
about Sarah.
I didn't think he was going to say that because I didn't really pick up on that. I know that there is some necrophilia stuff, especially in this song right here, Sarah. I kind of didn't really pick up on the fact that all of the stuff about girls in Bastard was kind of about just this one girl named Sarah. I suppose it would make sense. Like he fantasizes about doing all these things, and then around the VCR, he actually kills her, and then he does all kinds of weird stuff to her.
Thank God. And in order to not get caught, he just kills himself. What a song.
I don't remember that, but yeah. I thought if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that I thought he like started shooting at the police, but
Also pretty interesting how his personality changes from one song to another. Last song,
Yeah.
he murdered someone, and now he's bragging about his music being good. Like,
yeah, I that was one thing that I did notice. Like obviously the crazy things that he was doing was happening from track to track, but sometimes it just out of nowhere it would switch to something like Jack and the Beanstalk.
one of his alter egos coming out to say all this fucked up shit. Well, it might be coming from one thing so obvious from the very start of this album: his father. It could be that Tyler craves so much for attention from his father that he comes out as an alter ego that is willing to do anything to get any kind of reaction. The album ends with a loud bang that could be interpreted as just suicide given Tyler's behavior throughout the album. But given the lyrics said just before that, that bang could more likely be referring to him killing this bastard side of him and moving forward. Second album in this trilogy, Wolf. Whoa. But isn't Goblin the next one? Well, it actually wouldn't make sense to play Goblin right after this album. Dr. TC in Goblin.
Yeah. I mean,
You wouldn't do that, Tyler. Kill yourself or anyone. You don't...
That wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't kill yourself. But they forgot one thing. What Dr. TC says right after.
It's been a while since our last session, so tell me what's been going on.
What? What do you mean it's been a while since our last session? Yes, right?
yeah, no, I never thought I never thought that Goblin, like I always thought the Goblin was the last in the trilogy. I just thought that Bastard was before Goblin because Wolf didn't really seem to have Tyler in that insane headspace that he was on both Bastard and Goblin. It felt like kind of a lead up to that. I didn't necessarily think that the bang at the end of Bastard led to Goblin, but I did think that I felt like just everything that was going on in Bastard and Goblin seemed like it stemmed from Wolf. That's why I kind of interpreted it that way. But I can see why you wouldn't do that though.
The title for Wolf refers specifically to the main character of the album, Wolf Haley, who is basically Tyler, the guy he wants to be, not dependent of anybody. So to avoid any confusion, in this album, Wolf is Tyler, and Ace from Bastard is no more. The album.
So is the idea that like Bastard is him, like in his first therapy session, it's him kind of getting over his father, and that leads to Wolf where he's trying to move on, but then he's not able to move on, and that leads to Goblin where he's even more insane than he was on Bastard? That's my guess for where he's going with this.
The character Samuel performing a song with this band. A true masterpiece, by the way.
Fuck.
but they suddenly get to Camp Flogna, a summer camp for troubled kids or whatever. In fact, after the last session with Wolf, Tyler, Dr. TC probably felt like Tyler made a lot of progress and thought maybe signing him up for a summer camp is not such a bad idea. You know, maybe he's gonna make some friends, who knows?
See, all right? You stay the fuck out our way and we'll stay out of yours. Capiche?
This interaction between these two...
It's a summer camp? I didn't pick up on that. I kind of just thought that, I don't know. I suppose I probably missed something. I kind of just thought that he was being introduced to Sam because he was like working with their band or working with some kind of like venue or something where I probably missed out on something then.
Runtime of the album at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, Tyler says,
Fuck this beat, nigga, let's smoke weed.
and it's on the song Jamba. That's crazy. Jamba is
That seems like it's like teetering on the line of being a coincidence, but it's like just barely too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence. So I would believe that Tyler did that on purpose.
as he flexes his badge, the official Flogna badge with a cat centered in the middle. Basically, Sam is not someone you want to fuck with. Cowboy, we get to see a side of Wolf that is more reserved than Sam.
Cause I am the cowboy on my own.
Grab Salem and Slater. Isn't Slater Sam's bike, and Salem is Sam's girl? Or is that from the song?
Stay the fuck away from her, aight?
That's of course Sam mentioning his girlfriend for the first time, Salem, which clearly Wolf has an interest in Wolf's arrival. Awkward is pretty self-explanatory in what it wants to convey as a message. The relationship between how Samuel is acting and Ace from Bastard, right?
Noticing.
Feels like... Anyway, let's move on.
Oh, this song was. I remember.
Domo 23 is song 5 on Wolf, and despite the mysterious name of the song, it's literally the name of the beat Tyler made for 8-year-old cousin, which is hilarious to me considering the the bars in the hook. Anyway, this song ends with Tyler
didn't know
talking
that.
about
The best golfer in the world.
Is not available.
Oh, I see. Okay. Why isn't that on the digital version? I suppose that doesn't really add much, but it's a good lead up or a good transition into Answer, which I distinctly remember is about him talking about like I hate you, Dad, but if I call you, I hope you answer, you know.
Konma to Wolf Haley. He doesn't want his father's name anymore. The second verse talks about Tyler's grandma, who unfortunately...
But in that skit that we just heard from the Wolf CD, his dad's name was Haley. I suppose maybe that's kind of a meta thing. Because I also talked about in the reaction, I talked about how Wolf had less of a, like, just telling the story in the songs feeling and more of a, this is a song about the stuff happening in the story, rather, like, it's a song about what's happening in the story, but it's not a direct telling of it. That goes to the skits at the end of the story. It's kind of like Good Kid, Mad City. So
verse, though, is from the perspective of Samuel and is actually referring to his girlfriend, Salem. Since their relationship later, and honestly, before doing my research, I was certain that Slater was a character in the album, but really it's just the name of Tyler's bike. If you follow Tyler on social media,
I mean, I picked up on that. But I didn't pick up on that until the very end of the song, though. Because the whole time I thought it was like Slater was just some random character and he was just riding a bike with his girlfriend. But then at the end, he was like, "You're talking to a bike, bro." And I was like, Slater's a bike?
The song goes on, Sam begins to feel in over his head about drug dealing, apologizing over and over for what he's doing.
Six Flags came up and
Oh,
said,
boy.
hey yo,
Colossus asks for a picture. But when I say weird, remember the weird behaviors Tyler had on Bastard? This is on par with that.
I think about your face and I don't even fucking try to. Wish I had a basement meant for me to hide you.
What the fuck? A couple weeks ago, I think they actually found the Colossus guy. Let me see if I can find it.
Alright, for y'all who don't believe that Tyler the Creator's Colossus was written about me, here's all the proof you need right now. That's me, Will Marks, on the back of my shirt. That was 6 years ago. I looked up the date Colossus was released 6 years ago, 2019, 2013. I ended up going up and asking for a picture. As you can see in the photo, I asked him if I could get one. He said no.
I mean, it's debatable, like, whether it could have been.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't 100% sure that story was even true, or if it was like just exaggerated. I remember thinking that someone probably did act really weird towards him. Probably not in the exact way he described in that song, but I mean, it's both it's possible. And if it is this guy, I mean, that's very interesting, because I don't think Tyler would want anyone to really know who that song was about, because he probably wouldn't want, first of all, the attention from it, but he also probably wouldn't want the person that it is about to get the attention from it either.
Make this easier to understand, let's analyze each part individually.
I didn't really get a whole lot of narrative out of those three songs, as far as I remember, at least.
We get some action on Bimmer. This song is basically just Wolf having sex with Salem. All right, that's what this is. Sex metaphors with.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but that makes sense.
Wolf.
It's like that one guy on My Strange Addiction who was it My Strange Addiction? I don't know. Who was in like a full-on romantic and sexual relationship with his car.
And breathing it into her mouth so she could breathe. Aww. But a little, or girlfriend, whatever, maybe mention you want to kill them a bit later, preferably never. And still on this song, I cannot get over.
That wasn't that funny. It's just the fact that he said a little bit later. I thought he would like. When are you supposed to tell your partner that you want to kill them?
His prom date dismissed his offer, and that eventually drives him to kill his bullies, which is why Sam ended up at Camp Flogna. Sounds kind of similar if you compare the events in Bastard, right? Especially the.
So is Camp Flogna not actually a summer camp, but it's actually like more like a, I don't want to say like insane asylum or prison, but like, you know, like a place for mentally ill people who have done terrible things as a result of their mental illness, I suppose. What is Camp Flogna? I'm confused by that. I didn't think it was important to the story at all. I thought it was just a thing because I know it is a real place. It's like a music event, right? It's like a yeah, it's like a festival. I suppose it would be like what is it other than that? Based on what he's saying here, I'm guessing like it clearly has some relevance to the story in another way than what it seems to be here, like in real life. So I suppose maybe the Camp Flogna event in real life is just named after this.
Probably rapped by Samuel, which is crazy to me because Bastard is 4 years prior to Wolf. Anyway, next song is Parking Lot.
Interesting.
Tyler said himself that the song was blah. His words, not mine. It's just about him cuts him off and literally shoots him in cold blood.
Bitch, gotta shut the fuck up. Where's Wolf?
On Wolf. And that song is fucking trash. No pun intended. I mean, he even said in the tweet that Trash Wang means more to his friends than anyone else, so that makes sense. Although, the song ends
What the
friends.
fuck? It's so weird looking at old Tyler tweets. What does this last sentence even mean? It's like out national anthem. But what does that mean? Oh, it's like our national anthem. He misspelled our. Okay. I was like, what does that mean? Yeah, that song kind of sucked, but I suppose if it means a lot to him and his friends, then not everything you make is going to appeal to everyone, but if it's important to you, then it's important to you, you know? Oh my god, I just realized you can see my tanning. It's not that drastic in real life.
With a gunshot.
Click, click.
This is intended to be the moment Wolf and Salem hear the gunshot that killed Earl in the song.
That's what
Rusty.
I thought when I first listened to it.
Salem is showing out to Wolf. As
Yeah.
Salem is part
That's-
of
that's what
Sam's
I-
band at Flognaw, she
That's what I
initially, I'm taking my shirt off just so it doesn't seem like we're
Let's say I come
Tamale
Why did he have to phrase it like that? I'm taking my shirt off.
doesn't really make sense, you know? You're telling me that Wolf learned that Sam wanted to kill him, and then he went with Salem to listen to a song she made, and finally went back to his room to just jerk off? Like, what? I have a different theory. Maybe after
Yeah, I would hope
hearing
so.
95 is just him thinking of that let's escape fantasy with Salem. This is not what happened, and that could be what he's jerking off to in Tamale. I don't know. It's just a thought. It makes sense in my head.
No, that makes sense, but I would not have thought of that. Bars like that in like in Tamale that where like the bar about him jerking off. I didn't really consider that to be important to the story, but I suppose it makes sense like that.
Death of his grandma. But all things aside, have you noticed that Wolf is kind of like the contrary of Bastard? It's crazy when you compare the two personalities of
Yeah, that's
Tyler
why. That's
on
why
both
that's why I originally thought that I figured that Wolf came first because I thought it was like the whole stuff with Sam and Salem is what led him to go crazy and start doing the crazy stuff on Bastard. But I'll hear you out here.
Name one time on Wolf that Tyler did something wrong. You can't. There's nothing. I guess he got caught jerking off, but I mean,
Well,
happens to
he also stole someone's girl,
Evan.
but she seemed to be more
Wolf
interested in him
is
anyway.
the perfect version of Tyler. Wolf Haley is the alter ego that is the best possible version of Tyler versus Ace on Bastard, which is the worst possible version. Asks Wolf if he has seen Sam.
Fuck that nigga Samuel.
Have you seen him?
Nah, but if I seen that nigga, I would've killed him.
This ends the record, which is a bizarre ending. Third and last album in this trilogy. The first song, Goblin, is a continuation of the ending of Lone.
Fuck that nigga Samuel.
Have you seen him?
Nah, but if I seen that nigga, I would've killed him.
You wouldn't do that, Tyler. Kill yourself or anyone.
Even
Yeah, I did hear about that and I thought about that, and that does make more sense in terms of a continuation. I'm going to continue watching this before I make any assumptions though, because I felt like even with that particular detail, it's just weird to have Goblin follow Wolf. But I'll continue watching.
kill yourself or anyone, rather than you wouldn't kill Sam. There's a reason for that. But for now, keep that in mind. The album is basically Tyler's
Sam is Tyler
second
because he's crazy, right? You know.
Yonkers is a song Tyler hates. He made the beat in 5 minutes apparently, and by how he performs it at concerts, he seems pretty sick of it.
I'm a fucking homosexual. What? No, I'm not. Threesomes at the motherfucking ball.
Yonkers is a song where you really see
I have not
Tyler.
seen that clip. What?
It's almost like Tyler has a hard time knowing who he really is.
Oh, this song.
This song is just about being as chaotic as possible.
Don't do anything that I say in this song, okay? It's fucking fiction.
However, believe it or not, but there was actually a case where the Radicals' chant was used for terrorist threats. Actually, a student at
What?
the University of South Alabama wrote the hook on a flipboard in the library. Alabama, am I right?
Yeah, see, that's kind of the exact reason why I still kind of criticize that when I listened to it, and I was like, okay, like clearly you know that this is wrong, and clearly you a little bit more mature than you were on the last album, but like on Goblin he was clearly not at the point where he realized, oh shit, I can't really do that. Like that's not a good thing for me to do. Make songs like that is what I mean. And that a little disclaimer at the beginning, it's better than nothing, but it's not a solution. And that's why I was like, yeah, Goblin still kind of sucks.
On my waist, there's a
She is one of my favorite songs on Goblin, but it's also kind of creepy when you look into it. Obviously, Tyler. Now you're probably thinking,
I didn't know there was a music video for that either. Maybe I should watch that. That looked really weird.
but he's interrupted by
Is that Tyler's? Oh yeah.
fails when he says he wants to fuck her dead body. Come on, man. We were so good at this point to be drawn between Salem and Sarah. As the personalities
That's a good point.
of Ace and Wolf merge on this record, so are the personalities of Salem and Sarah. Confuses his behaviors, but also his memories.
Left brain.
That's an interesting interpretation of it. I feel like I'm not really gonna get where he's going with this until the very end, so I'm gonna try to stop pausing. So
This song is really reminiscent of a few songs from Bastard, where you have this dark side of Tyler with weird sexual tendencies, which we actually get a lot of answers to why he's like that very soon, but is not going well for him right now. But then it's like Dr. TC answers for Tyler.
Well, first off,
It feels like Dr. TC is talking over his patient while he answers, or just answers for him, which is weird, but
I didn't
still,
notice
keep that in mind.
that.
Nightmare.
I didn't notice that, but I mean, at the end of Goblin, it is revealed that Dr. TC is not actually like real.
It's screaming, oh, F is the best. The other ear, I got Tron Cat asking where the bullets and the bombs at.
Tyler gets pretty shook at the end of the song and confesses to Dr. TC that this voice tells him to do fucked up shit.
It tells me to do this shit that I don't want to fucking do.
what's his name?
Tron Cat.
Yeah.
Troncat is track 7 on Goblin. It features a pretty intense instrumental and Tyler's most edgy bars yet. That pregnant bitch line got him banned in UK, just saying. This is a track where we learn
That's the line that actually did it. I'm not surprised.
On Bastard, Troncat feeds on the anger that Tyler feels due to the absence of his father, and comes out in these over-the-top edgy situations. That's why Troncat is nowhere to be seen in Wolf, right? Because Wolf Haley is the best version. He's not completely absent. The Camp Flognaw badge as a cat picture in the center, which is a clear reference to Troncat. It's like Troncat is still overlooking everything that's going on Wolf without actually intervening. Troncat resurfaces in full songs. At the end of Troncat, Tyler's therapist, Dr. TC, is so disturbed by what Tyler just said that he just decides to change the subject.
What the fuck? How's that girl you were telling me about?
Oh, I don't need the metronome, bro.
Her is song 8 on
Yeah,
Goblin.
that was another thing I wanted to point out in that, because he was like, he's meant to be a therapist, but he's like, that was too much for me.
Clearly from the perspective of Sam, while her is clearly Tyler's point of view, because he's with Dr. TC, right? So you're like, is this the strangest coincidence?
Slip it in a drink.
Fish is song 10 on Goblin, and although
Yeah, I remember the first line of that song is crazy.
Slip it in a drink, and in the blink of an eye, I can make a white girl look chink. Don't know what to think, cause last time I attempted.
You start a song with that. That's how you're starting the song.
it's more like Troncat or Ace is talking with the dark thoughts and the raping stuff. But in Boppin' Bitch, it's Wolf Haley, because he doesn't give a fuck, he just wants to get his dick sucked. So again, Tyler's two personalities enter in conflict again.
could grab the fireworks.
You know, okay, this isn't really related to the video, but I do want to say I know this video is a little older than a lot of his other deep dive videos, and I just gotta say I can definitely tell that he has improved a lot in his video making skills since this, because this video is still great. I mean, I still got 10 minutes left. It's probably gonna be some big reveal that'll make everything make sense. This video is really good, but I can tell he's come a long way, and I feel I'm glad that he has tried to improve his videos over the years, because his newer ones are amazing and this one is still great. But like it's the kind of thing where, like, you don't want to say something that's older is bad, because it's not bad. It's just that if your newer stuff isn't better, then it's hard to say you've really improved, and that can I don't really know where I'm going with this. The point I'm trying to make is, like, I can tell his videos improved from here, but this is still great.
About a lake, right? And it comes right after fish. Where do you get fishes? In a lake. So that's genius. But you know what's not genius? The next song. BSD is the 12th song on Goblin, and this song is just a fucking shitpost.
I'm sorry.
It makes you think that maybe Troncat is doing it, but really it's about to get much clearer in the next song, acknowledging the success of the collective. Like, we're on top of the world, we made it. However, Tyler has different views about that on his verse. While everybody's excited about how their musical career...
Why was there no audio there? That didn't seem like a copyright issue, because I feel like the thing would be longer. That might just be an editing error. Yeah, what happened with the audio here? Is it a copyright thing?
The song ends with only Tyler and Dr. TC left.
That's weird.
079 is a purely instrumental cut that serves as an interlude between Window and Golden, the last track on the Goblin.
Tyler, you obviously have some fucking problems. Anything else you gotta say?
Mom is getting
Golden is the final track in the entire trilogy, and it's where we get
I think we can agree on easily.
Into a pretty big argument with Dr. TC. So much that Dr. TC ends up calling security on him, and he keeps saying nobody gave a fuck. To which Dr. TC responds,
Someone gave a fuck, Tyler, and the person I gave a fuck was me. It's me, I'm your best friend, Tyler. I'm Wolf Haley. I'm...
Me.
Yeah.
what? When I heard...
Yeah, that's why I was like...
This is the shittiest ending I've ever heard in an album. Like, everything and everyone was all in your head this whole time like that, but thankfully it's not. It's actually not what's happening here. Every character is just Tyler. So if you haven't noticed by now, Dr. TC is named like that because Dr. TC has the same initials as Tyler, the creator. And also, if you think of, you wouldn't kill yourself. There's a reason why Dr. TC says kill yourself or anyone in that specific instance.
That makes sense.
Samuel is Tyler. In Wolf, Samuel is just a reflection of Tyler on Bastard. Tyler, and he starts answering it at the same time. That's because Dr. TC is Tyler. There's also a moment in Cowboy where we just hear Dr. TC pop out of nowhere. But if we were to draw a takeaway from all this, what does this mean? I feel like at first glance, it's so easy to brush off this trilogy as, oh, he's schizophrenic. It's a good depiction of someone's mental health when they have multiple personality disorder or some shit. I feel like it's so much more than that. If I were to bring down this whole trilogy to a core message, it would be that you'll never be as good as the perfect person. you want to be. But you'll still never be as bad as the monster. Not him realizing he's crazy or something. It's just him finally finding himself. Dr. TC has been him this whole time. And those therapy sessions were just a way for him to grow up. The next day is not a session at all. It's just Tyler's future. What's next for him after all of that? And I like to think about all of these later projects from Tyler being part of the next day. I've had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope you've had as much fun watching it. Let me know if I should do this again in the same fashion, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye!
Okay, so there really wasn't that much of a huge takeaway as there was on the other albums. Like, damn, the big like moment was, oh, you can play it in reverse, and this, you get the Igor. It was like, oh, it's a loop, things like that. There wasn't really that in this. It was just kind of the end of the goblin what that really gave it a you know an actual resolution. uh this isn't very different from from what I thought it was. I suppose I didn't really get the whole, you'll never be as good as the best version of yourself, but you'll never be as bad as the worst version. Didn't really get that. But yeah, the only thing that was really different in this, aside from the fact that he did way more research and, got way more facts and things to put into the video, the only real difference is the order timeline wise, and I'm still a little bit confused about it because I don't really understand what Camp Flogna is still in Wolf. Like, if Dr. TC is him, if Sam is him, if everyone's him, well, first of all, who's Salem and who's Sarah? Are they the same person, or are they, like you said, Tyler's memory is messing with him? But like, who are they? Are they real? What is Camp Flogna? How did he get sent there? If the judge ordered him a shrink, why does he have an imaginary one? I feel like there really isn't answers in this. And honestly, that might be okay, because it just honestly kind of proves what I said at the start of this video. There isn't really a concise, exact answer to what all of this means. It's very, very open to interpretation. So it's quite difficult to actually discern an actual, like, full timeline story from it. And I suppose no actual story is more correct than any other because of how open to interpretation this all is. I would love to talk a little bit more about this, but I'm very tired. It's pretty late at night. I have work tomorrow. So I'm going to end the video here. Please, if you've never checked out Tennis Tom before, check him out. He's awesome. Makes awesome videos. I found him from his Damn video, and that video is still like it's really cool. And I highly recommend his channel just to anyone, really, as long as you like these albums that he's doing videos on. If I would make a request for a deep dive video, obviously I'm absolutely in love with Chromacopia, so I would love to see a Chromacopia deep dive, but I don't know if he's getting tired of doing Tyler the Creator videos at this point. I would also be interested in some, like, maybe Melt My Eyes to Your Future. That's an interesting album to maybe do a deep dive on. TPAB would also be pretty interesting, but there's already plenty of videos on TPAB out there. So he's done a lot of the, really interesting albums that I've listened to. So I would love to just have a video of these for every Tyler album. I feel like it'd be great, deep dive into Cherry Bomb, deep dive into Flower Boy. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Shout out to Tennis Tom. Subscribe to him if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If Tennis Tom, if you do end up watching this video, I love you. Love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And hey, if you ever need help with a video, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.